we are now factoring quadratics. So when we're factoring quadratics, and we have just three terms, so it's a trinomial. We have a cheesy saying called "My father drives a red Mustang" for each of those. First letter stands for a step we do, or it's also called the slide, divide, and bottoms up. I tend to call it the A times C method, because if you can remember to multiply A times C, you're in good shape. So if we look at our steps, we multiply A times C, we factor, find factors of A times C that add up to get the B value, we divide by A, reduce, no decimals allowed, and then we move the leftover denominator. So if we look at example 1 first, we have 3x squared plus 10x plus 8. 3 times 8 is our A times C value. That's 24. So the two values that multiply to be 24 and add up to be 10 will be 6 and 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. 6 times 4 is 24. So that gives us x. We take those two factors, x plus 6 and x plus 4. So now what we do with those, we have to divide by a. So we factored, now we divide by a. And we only divide the number by a. In this case, a is 3. So if it divides out evenly like 6 over 3, we just write it as x plus 2. If it doesn't divide evenly like 4 over 3, we slide that 3 up front and then just keep the 4 in place. So our factors would be x plus 2 times 3x plus 4. Now, for example 2, we have x squared plus 8x plus 12. So in this case, when we do A times C, it's 1 times 12, which is 12. So the two numbers that multiply to be 12 and add up to be 8, 6 and 2, and 6 plus 2, so they both work. So when we do that, we make it x plus 6 times x plus 2. Now, the nice thing, when our a value is 1, we're done. We don't have to do the last 3 steps, because 6 divided by 1 is still 6, 2 divided by 1 is still 2. So that gives us our complete answer. Alright, now, if you notice this note up here, must factor out GCF first. When we are looking at something like example 3, we need to factor out the GCF. In this case, each one has a 9k. And so if we rewrite it with a 9k, we get 2 plus 4k plus k squared. Now I'm going to rewrite it so it's in standard form. Put the k squared in front, plus 4k plus 2. So when we do A times C, we get 1 times 2 equals 2. Now, is there anything, are there any two numbers that multiply by 2 and add up to 4? Well, the answer is no. So this is all we can do when we're factoring. That's as far as we can take it. Okay? So if we can't factor anymore, that's all we can do. Now I'm going to do 2 of these. I'm going to do 1 and 3 for your benefit. So in 1, we have x squared minus 3x minus 18. 1 times negative 18 equals negative 18. That's our A times C. What two numbers multiply to be negative 18 and add up to be negative 3? Well, I'm going to go with negative 6 and positive 3. Those add up to be negative 3, and they multiply to be negative 18. So x minus 6 times x plus 3. And there, we're good, because its a value is 1. Then if we look at number 3, 3 times 2 first. That gives us 6. What two numbers multiply to be 6 and add to be 7? 1 and 6. Those work. So x plus 1 times x plus 6. Now we need to divide by the a value, 3. So this one, the a slides up. The denominator, 3x plus 1. This one, it simplifies to x plus 2. And so there you go. I'll pull it back out. You can look it over again. So this is our a times c method.